us. I'm here with Pat Long, the Congressman's Communications Director, to come and represent his office today and to share with you his commitment to preserving SNAP benefits. He has met with several of you in this room over various points during his time in office, and he is committed to preserving SNAP for everyone in the district. He knows how important this program really is and how it does help everyone who needs that kind of help. So he did vote twice against the Farm Bill. The Farm Bill is combined with SNAP and the work requirements. The Congressman firmly believes that there should not be any expansion of work requirements in the SNAP program or the Farm Bill. As it happens, 78% of people in the 8th District who receive SNAP benefits have one or more people in their household who are currently employed. So tying a work requirement really is unnecessary. People are working. You've heard it here this morning. People want to work. They are working. So there isn't a need for a work requirement, and it would serve no purpose. There are complex economic barriers that prevent some people from working, even if they want to. And that work requirement would put onerous burdens on them to try to meet a work requirement. In the 8th District, in the 8th Congressional District, the people who are currently receiving SNAP are 45% over age 65. They are 36% with children and 52% disabled. And we know that working can be difficult for people in those situations. For people who can work, there are jobs in Bucks County. Unfortunately, right now we have a skill gap. There are a lot of manufacturing jobs that are currently unfilled in our district, but we don't have people who are trained machinists. We don't have people who can do the kinds of jobs that we currently have available. So that is something that the Congressman has been working hard with local community colleges and going out to speaking to businesses to see what their needs are and how we as a district can meet those needs. Pardon my pause. The Congressman firmly believes that Social Security benefits should not be taxed. He has said that publicly many times. The Congressman is one of 8 children. He grew up in Levittown. His parents are both in their 80s now, and they live on their Social Security income. He knows how difficult it is to live on Social Security income, and he will do nothing to cut those benefit programs for the constituents that he represents. When he asked me to work for him when he took office, he asked me to do a lot of outreach in the community, which I have done for him. And he asked me to listen to those people who felt they were voiceless, and I have made that my job over the last year and change. I have heard many sad stories. I don't stand here today and tell you that I can answer your daughter's medical issues. Every case is different. Our office is filled with caring people who really want to help connect constituents to the benefits that they are entitled to and the programs that exist. We are blessed to be in Bucks County. We have wonderful organizations like the Opportunity Council and many others, and we are happy to be a resource to you. I have my card. Please call our office. We are happy to be a resource to help you figure out how to navigate the myriad of programs and benefits that are here to support you in ways that we know you need to be supported. So again, I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning, and I thank you all for your time and attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor Rick. I just couldn't be prouder to be here today. Food stamps, as SNAP used to be called, was created by the Department of Agriculture in the 1930s. It was created by my grandfather when he was Secretary of Agriculture. He helped write Social Security. He created the school lunch program. He knew that there are people who are needy, kids going to school who haven't got a single meal. They could get one meal at school. It makes the difference between their ability to succeed and their starving. Food stamps is that kind of program that fills a need that is otherwise untouched. Obviously, food pantries are an important supplement, but we cannot diminish this type of assistance that the government provides. I believe in the kind of government that my grandfather helped create in the 30s and 40s. He spent every single day of FDR's vice presidency, first as Secretary of Agriculture, designing the programs that got America out of the Dust Bowl and the Great Depression, and then as vice president during the third term, and finally as Secretary of Commerce. I believe in the New Deal. I believe in a government that is on the side of working people and older people, giving them the retirement security that they paid into all their lives, and Medicare to provide health security, Medicaid to provide health security for folks that can't afford it or have special needs, folks in nursing homes. I want to return to that type of vision of government that is on the side of the working people. I'm afraid that what we have now is a government that is of, by, and for the billionaires and the corporations.
Yeah.
With all due respect, Brian Fitzpatrick voted for a tax bill that gave tax breaks to corporations, the biggest tax break in the history of America, from 35% down to 21% for corporations, on the theory that the corporations would turn around and trickle it down their legs to working people.
Been there, done that.
Didn't work. What did the corporations spend their money on? $1 trillion of those tax breaks went to buying back the corporation's own stock, which of course drives up the value of the stock that's remaining out there. Who are the #1 beneficiaries of that stock value increase? CEOs, top executives. They get paid in their own stock. So when the shares of IBM doubled from $100 to $200 each, the primary beneficiary is the CEO of IBM. ExxonMobil got a $6 billion tax cut out of this. And then the stock buybacks, by the way, were criminal until 1982. There was a federal law that regarded stock buybacks as illegal manipulation of your company's stock price. Now, it is actually still that, but it's not illegal. The kicker for me is, of that $1 trillion in stock buybacks, 40% of it went to the folks who own shares of American stock but are not American. It went to Saudi sheikhs, it went to Russian oligarchs. Now, is there anybody in this room who can think of something better to do with $400 billion than give it to Saudi sheikhs and Russian oligarchs?
Education, the environment, global warming, social safety net, national health care.
So I'm embarrassed that my congressional representative voted for that tax break for the richest people and gave $400 billion away to the richest people elsewhere. We can do better than that. We can, if we have that kind of money lying around in spare change, which we do not, by the way, I can design an infrastructure plan that would create jobs and build this country's infrastructure, roads, bridges, broadband internet for rural areas, for everybody, for every kid to learn better. Make this a great country for other countries to send their businesses to, because we have first-class infrastructure to support everything that they want to do. Grow the economy by growing the people. Invest in the people. They are the resource which is going to turn this into a powerhouse economy and increase the revenues that can start to pay down our great national debt, which has gone up in record amounts. I'm reminded of the story of Franklin Roosevelt's funeral train when it was going from Warm Springs, Georgia, where he died, up to his final resting place in Hyde Park. As it passed through Bristol, on its way up there, there was this old Union guy standing there in dungarees with with his hand over his heart and tears streaming down his cheeks. And a reporter was standing next to him, and the reporter looked like, "Did you know him?" And the old guy said, "No, but he knew me." Yeah. He never met me. Government got working people and worked for them. They had their back. Everything was about government being on the side of the working people. Nothing is going to change in America. This attitude of being for the billionaires and the corporations, nothing will change as long as Republicans control the House and the Senate. If we wake up on the morning of November 7th and maybe the House Democrats have taken 22 seats, I'm going to say, wow, that's great. But unless we take 23 seats, the Speaker of the House will still be the person that Brian Fitzpatrick voted for, Paul Ryan, or his successor, McCarthy, whatever. The government will not change. If you want government to get back on the side of working people, we have to put Democrats in power to be a check and a balance on the rapaciousness, the thievery, the lack of morals.
And we appreciate what you're saying. Yeah, because you know what, we didn't want this to be a campaign for Democrats and Republicans. We wanted you to hear us today.
There you go.
I have loved the stories. I've been taking notes on what you all are going through. It is incredible to me. I want to help. I will sign your pledge. To impose a work requirement on the people you heard from today who've worked all their lives, nobody is jumping up and down and say, oh boy, now I get to go on food stamps and get some free stuff.
Whoa.
Hang on there.
You okay, hon?
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. Why are you doing this?
This is like a lifeline. This is a last resort. This is not some freebie. And I'm afraid Trump and the Republicans just look at this as war welfare. But these are real people at the end of their rope. And if you just cut 10% out of food stamps, you're expecting the food pantries, the private donor, volunteer-run programs like this to double what they do, and they just can't do it.
Right, it hits the hardest at the local level.
Yeah, and the hardest at the personal level. And politicians, Congress should have a hearing just listening to people who are on food stamps.
Right.
Then you would have bipartisan consensus. Bring in someone from every congressional district with a story like this to tell. And they would not be talking in this callous way about, let's give a couple $1 trillion more to the rich and cut the stuff for the poor.
Right.
Nobody who's heard this kind of story would talk like that.
Right. And the other thing I wanted to touch on, you mentioned wanting to sort of bring about a second kind of New Deal era to help spearhead that. I thought that was an interesting take, just in that in recent years we've heard slogans akin to, make America great again. In a way, this would be harkening back to an older era, but with that safety net intact as opposed to stripping it away.
I'm not trying to harken back. I'm trying to move forward to a government that had that same spirit of helping people instead of just helping the rich. In 1950, during the Eisenhower years, often thought of as our best years. We built the interstate highway system, we started the space program, we put every single GI through free education. You know what the top tax rate was on rich people then? Anybody?
No, I'm higher than this now.
92%. Did you ever hear anybody complaining during the Eisenhower years that they were paying too much in taxes?
92% federally?
92% was the top marginal tax rate during the Eisenhower years. And that's what built America. Taxes are the price you pay for civilization.
So what do you feel a proper tax rate would be on, first, where was rich at that point? Like what was the income line in relative terms to now?
You'd have to be talking in 2018 dollars.
Yeah.
I think the top earners at the time were considered anything over $3,000.
Wow.
What is that in today's dollars? I don't know.
So what do you think an appropriate tax rate would be now?
Rate now. You know, the other era that people talk about being when America was great, I frequently hear, most frequently hear, the Reagan years. During the Reagan years, the top marginal tax rate was 50%. Now,
50%.
50% was the rate during most of the Reagan years. And nobody complained about it then. We were building important federal programs. Nixon, it wasn't just LBJ and FDR, but Nixon gave us the EPA and the Legal Services Corporation, taking care of the planet that's not going to take care of itself, and taking care of low-income people who cannot afford to hire a lawyer.
So that 50%, at what income rate would you?
You're getting down in the weeds there.
Hey, that's the job. We're going to Congress, no?
One word for you: Wikipedia.
Yeah.
It was for the wealthiest Americans, and I think we had more tax brackets than now.
Oh no, I'm not talking about Reagan. I'm saying if you get elected
I
November.
think we would have more tax brackets, and the top 1% of America would pay more. I think 50% would not be an unreasonable amount.
We have time for one more question, guys. We got to go to another event. So
I've answered mine.
It was 39% under the Clinton years. They came in, the Trump folks and Ryan, and said, let's lower it even more, 2%, and it's okay to allow hedge fund managers under the carried interest loophole to pay only 20%. The rich must pay their fair share. Now, people can say, I want to raise taxes. The rich must pay their fair share. I'm not talking about raising taxes on the 99%. But the rich must pay more.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask the most unpopular question right now, which is the tax return question. I know we've asked it before, but it keeps coming up every time I submit.
Tax returns.
Yes, sir.
Okay. When Brian Fitzpatrick can vote to require Donald Trump, the highest elected official in the land, to disclose his tax returns, when he can get the nerve to kindly challenge Donald Trump to do something that everybody in this country wants him to do, instead of voting 18 times against it, I might consider it.
Last
But
weekend,
I
asked
him
Mr.
hypocrisy.
Fitzpatrick that question, because this is the answer we got last time we asked it. And he said on 7/17, he tweeted to you directly that he did, and that he wanted to see Trump's tax return.
He voted 18 times against it.
So you want him to bring a vote?
I don't want to hear what you say. I want to see what you do.
Okay. Okay, that's it. That's all.
Anything else is hypocrisy.
All right. Guys?
Nice meeting you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, do you have a card? Or your
Pardon my pen.
No, but Zoe Wilson is our comms director, so